Hey, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo. It's Rumor and Innuendo. I'm of Studio1Sports.com. As you can see right there. Boom, boom, boom. Go to Studio1Sports.com. If you're not watching there, be sure to go there, hit like, subscribe, chime on into the chat, which I will say hi to some folks here right now. I know I'm a tad bit late, right? But it was rainy outside in Pittsburgh. I had to rush back. But I'm happy to be here with all you. So let's say hi to some folks in the chat. The big boss kicks us off. He says, Raw was bad. Congrats on the announcement, Tom. Yes, I'll talk about that here in a second. Thank you, big boss. I appreciate that. Triple E, what's up? Thoughts and prayers for Maddie's mom. Yes. If you're not, Maddie sometimes chimes in here at Rumor and Innuendo, but Maddie is a regular on RVD TV. He's like the biggest RVD guy on the show, to be honest. Like he interacts the most, he does everything. Maddie just lost his mom, so it's moving forward that she's going to be passing very soon. So prayers out to Maddie. I know he doesn't tune into this show all the time, but thanks for bringing that up, Triple E. I appreciate you doing that. So Kami Starr says, after morning all, she also adds that Saturday night's main event was a letdown. Danhausen's clothing machine was a huge disappointment. I've got a lot of thoughts on that. Dre Ellen says, hello, R&I. I hope Danhausen is and wins Money in the Bank this year. LOL. Look, how things are going, he might be the best choice. Joseph Wade Walters, morning rumor heads. Devin Dowling, AEO, he says, as a Knicks fan, I liked it, Cammy. Yeah, as a Knicks fan, I liked it too, in a way. There was other ways I did not like it, more from a storyline standpoint. Legs Louis says, happy Tuesday, R&I. Hope you're doing well. I'm glad I can make the live show. Happy you're here as well. Let's see. You want to say hi to Wrestling Old Head too? He says, good afternoon, morning, everyone. Random tidbit. Last night's Saturday night's main event was in MSG. Evander Holyfield has last time Saturday night's main event was in MSG. Evander Holyfield had a boxing match with Matt Hardy. Holy crap. That's crazy. And now his son wrestles for NXT. Pretty wild. And then the rest of it also has this past Saturday basically reenacted Karl Malone and Des Rodman in WCW without the tag match. Yeah, it doesn't transition over as well, obviously. So I guess this will seg me into what I was doing yesterday. I announced yesterday that I'm producing the Linda Cohn Show. Every Monday and Thursday, we go live at 6 p.m. It's Linda Cohn's solo show. If you're not familiar with who Linda Cohn is, she is an ESPN or former ESPN Sports Center anchor. That's what she was greatly known as. She worked there for, 34 years. And she just left. And so I collaborated with her on producing her show, and I'm somewhat on it too sometimes. I'll chime in and give my thoughts, and there was no more appropriate time than considering what went down on over the weekend, Fanatics Fest weekend. Tom Brady got involved. We will talk about that here too, but the new episode, Linda Cohn, is up right now. So be sure to you can type in Linda Cohn Sports on YouTube, or you can type in lindacohnshow.com and it'll take you right to that channel. So if you like sports and you want to hear a take that Linda, she's got great takes. She's super smart. She loves all types of sports too, primarily hockey. She's well known for, but football as well. So lots of good conversation. And yes, I chimed in on some wrestling talk regarding Tom Brady and how I think WWE should handle it and how he should handle himself. So that brings me to what I will kick things off with. Not Raw. Raw was pretty ineffective. Well, it was effective, but not in a good way. But let's start with this. So Saturday night's main event, we did have the NBA interaction. We had Jalen Brunson, who my current favorite player today. I rooted for the Knicks these past several seasons. So, I really don't have an NBA team technically, but I think the Knicks grew on me, and what their team effort and team play was been about, I've appreciated for the past several seasons. So it was very rewarding for me to see them win a championship. And Jalen Brunson was my favorite player, so I was super duper happy for all that. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. What I'm saying, though, is he's over, right? One of the biggest stars in New York City at this point in time for a good reason, you know? So, yes, WWE, and I said this, Robert said this too, they have to make the most of him when they go to MSG. And I think they did. Like, they put him, obviously, they put him in there with your top star, Roman Reigns. My issue with it is not the Jalen Brunson aspect. The Karl Anthony Towns aspect, I think, was awesome. The inclusion of Tyler Halliburton was also awesome. But the big issue is we don't have a baby face and we don't have a heel in Seth Rollins and in Roman Reigns. And when they did that, you would lean more towards Seth Rollins maybe being the baby face. So him bringing out a heel Tyler Halliburton in MSG makes absolutely no sense. And then if you're trying to get Roman over as potentially a heel, which he is very much a heel in how he handles himself, then why is he with the King of New York right now in Jalen Brunson? I understand the aspect that Jalen Brunson is a fan of Roman Reigns, and that makes a lot of sense, but you are positioning Roman Reigns as a heel, or like not necessarily. Are you? I don't know. And that's the whole issue with, Tyrese Halliburton. Thank you. That's the whole issue currently with everything on Raw. I cannot make a distinction of what is good, what is bad, and it's extremely, extremely frustrating. Like, this is not a good product right now. Is it 2019 bad? I don't think it'll ever get back to that bad, but there's a sense of apathy that comes into play here when I watch Raw. I am not intrigued by what's going on whatsoever because I don't have faith in what they've been putting out there as a television product. I think it's really bad right now. Not 2019 bad, but it's really bad. Seth, so Devin says this too. Seth's the heel to me, but I also didn't watch the main event of Raw, so I don't know fully. LOL. Okay, how it's positioned is the Bloodline are heels. The Bloodline are the heels. So, Seth, I agree with you. I don't think he's a captivating babyface whatsoever. I think this is just awful. Like, Seth coming out there and confronting like Solo Sikoa was horrible. Horrible. Like, I want to actually root for Solo Sikoa, but the crowd is not necessarily doing that at the moment. I think if you position him in the right manner, you can get to that. People want to cheer for Jacob Fatu and, you know, all that kind of stuff, but there's no clear distinction of what is going on and who to root for and who to cheer for. And this is all across the Bloodline stuff. This is all across the ass, and you even get that too with Punk and Cody. Like, they're two baby faces. What's so frustrating about all this is that, and Robert said this too, I believe on Working Stiff, the latest episode too, and it's pretty straightforward. We say it, I'd imagine we said this several times on the show itself, is wrestling is so simple, okay? You have a good guy, you have a bad guy, they have some sort of conflict, and then the fans cheer vicariously through the good guy and want to root against the bad guy. Simple storytelling. Aristotle came up with it, all right? This has been thousands and thousands of years old, all right? And I think that's why wrestling has stuck around so long and has not gone away the way of roller derby, okay? Is because the storytelling is simple. Boom, straightforward. Good guy, bad guy, like the good guy, don't like the bad guy, want to see the bad guy lose, and you have a story going. That's it. That's it. What is so complicated about this? Why is WWE putting layers on everything here? And these layers feel very homogenized, half-assed, I would say, and uninspiring. Look, I'll get to this part in a second, but what I feel, not only that, okay? Not only that, with this whole confusion of everything that's going on, in the back of everybody's minds is how much are they using AI to tell these stories, to write this stuff? That is always going to linger in the back of your mind. And when the storytelling is not that good, it feels like AI slop going on. And people will start to assume that that the show is being written by AI and not by writers. And I tell you what, if I'm WWE, I'm doing a massive overhaul. And this episode of Raw was a clear indication of why they should do a massive overhaul. I'm talking shorten your runtime on Netflix. I would say change your commentary. Leave Corey Graves. I think Corey's awesome. You got to switch Michael Cole out of there. He is your moral compass and your voice of reason. And the fans are he's supposed to speak for the fans. Unfortunately, Michael Cole does not have that for me. And he does that. I don't think he resonates with people. Okay. I know he's the stalwart there and, everything like that. Great. Put him more in a Mean Gene role moving forward. Get somebody else in there. You have to switch your product up massively. If you're not utilizing writers or you're not utilizing your creative wrestling minds behind the scenes, you put them more so at the forefront. If you're using AI, get rid of it. It's not working. Okay. It's clearly not working. And I think that's fair for me to assume to an extent that, hey, are they potentially using AI to tell us some of this crap? Because that's what it is right now. And again, I'm not ripping on things just to rip on them. I want WWE to be great. I thought WWE was great like 2 years ago. I thought it was amazing. I was captivated by it. Continuity throughout the whole show, intriguing storylines, little Easter eggs throughout the show, so you would have to pay attention to what's going on. Now this just feels lethargic, uninspired, and the increased feeling that there are no stars right now. Even Obafemi, he feels kind of tapered. All right. You have him in this weird backstage segment with the Judgment Day where there's the bag of money and Danhausen, and the bag of money gets thrown in the way of Obafemi and Oba gets upset about it. And so that lines to a match later on. Very lazy, stupid, uninspiring. I thought Raw was horrible. Worst Raw of the year. I really did. It's and I didn't watch Saturday Night's Main Event. All right. I can't remember what I was doing on Saturday. I watched the Odyssey. Okay. Odyssey was good, by the way. I give it an 8 out of 10. You feel the length of it later on, a little as time goes on, but it's called the Odyssey for a reason, right? So, it's going to be a long movie. So, but it was good. It was good stuff. I think there's pros and cons that pro wrestling could learn from the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. Nobody really stood out as a major, oh my God, that performance was amazing. But overall, the cast was good. The cast was great. Don't let any of the outer aspects or the cultural kind of talk or anything like that inhibit you from going to see this movie. Okay. Very much go and watch it. And if you like Greek mythology and stuff like that, I think they do a pretty good justice. I did take some exceptions with what happened throughout that movie in regards to the Greek mythology stuff. I would have liked to see some more stuff. I don't want to spoil it for people, but I would like to see some more Greek mythology stuff. And I think you'll get what I mean if you go and see it. But overall, I liked the movie. Matt Damon, I thought was good. Robert Pattinson's amazing heel. So go enjoy it. Go enjoy it. Raw, I did not enjoy. Okay. I thought such confusion in overall, on how you, the main event had LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. Okay. Fine. I think that's a good main event, and what maybe you're presenting, but you did not do Jacob Fatu any favors at all in protecting him. You basically had LA Knight have a clean pin over, and it just didn't happen. I thought that was stupid. Seth is not hooking with me as whatever role he is in, whether it's heel, face. I think it's face. I think he's a face, but it's just awful. Oh my God. Here, let's take a look at some chats here. I ranted quite a bit. Dre Owen says, watching Raw made me excited for redemption. I can't argue that. Willie Thornberry said Monday Night Raw was a cure for my insomnia last night. Yeah, I can't argue that. I watched it this morning. Fans are only cheering LA Knight out of that 6-man. They're not sure about Solo, and they don't know Royce enough to get behind him. It's really odd, actually. It's so odd. It's so odd. And Royce Keys should be heated up at this point. You introduced him at the Royal Rumble. Good Lord, that's 7 months ago. Like, do something with him to make him feel viable. Legs Louis says, hey, Dom, do you think SummerSlam will suffer the same fate as Mania and the matches will be cut short? Who knows? I mean, I saw that they had Justin Jefferson from the Vikings kind of hype up what's going on. Don't know if Tom Brady's getting involved at SummerSlam this soon. I mean, Logan Paul's hurt, and he's been doing this feud with Logan Paul, which I'll talk about here in a second. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think WWE feels so disorganized right now in last minute in panic mode that, yeah, I could imagine a lot of like things getting changed around and shifted around a lot. Cammie says she misses the TV roller derby. Totally different from when I played. Ooh, you played roller derby? If you feel comfortable, what was your roller derby name, Cammie? I know there's a lot of context that goes with some of that stuff, some innuendo, if you will, context. But TV roller derby, I remember the Roller Jam, and that was before, what was it? ECW was on or something on TNN. Am I right on that or am I wrong on that? But I remember watching that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, that was clearly staged, but I would watch roller derby. I would. Devin says it does feel like AI. See, you have those reports out there. That's automatically going to be in your back of your head when you watch WWE programming. Clearly, AEW, for good or bad, for good, I'm going to say that flat out, for good. They don't use AI to tell their stories. I don't want AI to tell me a story, okay? I use AI for certain things. Like, I do graphic design. I make the thumbnails and stuff like that. But what I'll do is I'll take that thumbnail, pop it into Chat GPT and say, enhance this. Don't change the logos. Sometimes don't change the font. Just enhance it. And then it makes it look nicer overall and brighter and more vibrant. And that's what I primarily use AI for. And I ask it weird questions about life sometimes just to get different perspective. An Android's perspective. Wrestling Old said, oh, yeah. So he wants to know about your roller derby excursions too, Cammie. Did you roller derby? What did you think of Roller Jam? Yeah, we talked about that. I just mentioned that. How about that? Dre Owen says, I feel it's been AI on the writing since Backlash. The only thing that feels genuine was Lyra turning in Danhausen. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, you're finding the balance there. I loved it as a kid. Another rough sport for a girl who loved wrestling, right? Well, it was a way to get involved for sure. I know one of my friends from college, she does roller derby in Las Vegas. Shout out to Lori, who I also started in some plays with. She was also my big in Alpha Psi Omega, the co-ed for 3D fraternity. So shout out to Lori. Let's see. No, I didn't see it. I didn't see the Odyssey on IMAX. I saw it just in a regular theater. I paid $8 for the ticket, and I think I bought a large popcorn. I just bought a large popcorn and I ate like half the bag. So screaming deal. Oh, Dre's going to see it in IMAX on Thursday. You should see it in IMAX, I guess, if you yeah, you should see it in IMAX if you go see it. If you had enjoyed Raw last night, I would be worried about it now. Willie Thornby says, what have you done with Robert? Robert is away right now, so he is not here. Let me just make sure he is away right now. Okay, he's not texting me. Like, hey, Dom, where's the link? Willie says, Dom, I think we are long lost best friends. LOL. Oh, okay. She didn't have a fun name. She stayed with her Cammie work name. Okay. Because there's like people come up with fun roller derby names. Okay, so I had a friend in Philly. She did roller derby too. And her roller derby name was Fonda Dixon Shoes. Fonda Dixon Shoes. So she was Big Shoe aficionado. And so you can put the second half together there. And so I thought that was a fun roller derby name. Speaking of such a last name, you might be fond of something too in the bedroom, and that would be Blue Chew. Yes, Blue Chew is one of our stalwart sponsors here at Rumor and Innuendo, and I am so happy to talk about them because they do help men in many ways. Like I said, this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Blue Chew Gold is better sex in a tablet. They combine 4 ingredients into one powerful solution. 2 ingredients get you hard physically, and 2 support arousal and desire in the brain. It works fast and lasts. Guys, have a complete experience in the bedroom with Blue Chew Gold. There's a reason Blue Chew is the #1 brand for better sex. Experience it yourself at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners right now. When you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the 3rd for free with promo code RUMOR. That's promo code RUMOR. You will also receive an additional 10% off plus free overnight shipping on your first order. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast and the bedroom. That is right indeed. Also, we have a new sponsor, a returning sponsor this week, and that is Mars Men. Yes, Mars Men makes its return to us. And, I'm 41. I feel great, ultimately. I always say that I feel like I'm 28 years old still. But I do feel some effects of turning 40. Sometimes a little bit of tiredness, stuff especially that nighttime. I could usually run late and feel, but once 10 o'clock hits, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this. I went and saw Bob Dylan like last week or almost 2 weeks ago now. And I was up until like 10. The show didn't end till like 10:30. Around like 9:30, 9:45, I was feeling pretty tired. So definitely the age hits you a little bit. Bob Dylan was great, by the way. But, there's a lot that you can get from Mars Men potentially. Mars Men, they have a 90-day money back guarantee, so there's no risk. Worst case is you don't absolutely love it, you can get your money back, but over 91% of users report higher energy levels. Thousands of guys are feeling incredible results. Just check out the reviews on the website and see it for yourself. So yeah, you can check it out for sure. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts when you check out. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support Rumor and Innuendo and tell them that our show sent you. There we go. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. Devin appreciated my segue that time. Thank you. Willie Thornberry says, just for fun, I one time asked AI to write a storyline about Owen Hart winning the WWF title the night after the Montreal Screwjob. Interesting. Devin Dowling says, you hear Sammy might be done with AEW. He removed them from his bio and on all social medias. I did see that. I like Sammy. I know he can be like somewhat abrasive and, maybe hard to handle at certain points. But listen, I think there's value in Sammy for sure. If you're TNA, if you're, oh my gosh, I think he could have a really good indie run, And if I were WWE, I would consider it. I certainly would consider it. I think there's potential. I could see him going to TNA, and then he's got some friends there too. So, I like Sammy. I know he's kind of polarizing. I've gotten to chat with him a couple times. I just like him. I think, sometimes probably has that energy that maybe throws you off or whatever, maybe takes some harder stances than some other people do potentially. I have no idea, but it makes some bad decisions here and there. But I would, if I were WWE, I'd take a flyer and I'd give him a shot. Be like, hey, let's get you down here at the Performance Center, see how you adapt, see how you work. If it works, we'll try to utilize you and do it. And then he just got to make the most of it, and be a good soldier in certain ways and roll with the punches and, see how it goes. But hopefully he doesn't end up like Rusev on Raw, like just tapping him out. Okay, I guess we're done with Rusev here. Like, what's the point of bringing him back? What is the point of bringing him back if you're tapping him out? I understand you're getting Chad Gable over. Don't put Rusev in that situation. What is going on? Like, gosh. I mean, good Lord. This is another great point. Kevin and Bray. This didn't even dawn on me. Embarrassed 2 hours and 15 minutes without no women's matches. What is going on? It's just, I'm more for like, if it makes sense, have matches, right? But you're supposed to make those women matches make sense so you can have them on your programming. So make it make sense. Like, unbelievable. Legs Louie asks me, why do you think there has been such a dramatic drop off from where WWE was in 2024? TKO. I think TKO has played a huge part in throwing things off. I'm sure, you have these guys in these suits that oversee what's been going on, like a Mark Shapiro and an Ari Emanuel, who, maybe deal with, there's agents and blah, 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 but like they don't, and they know sports a little bit, but they don't know pro wrestling. Like, and so they insert themselves into the thing to kind of make things happen. I think people are really easily wanting to pile on Triple H when it comes to certain things. And, sure, like he's the creative content officer. And so like some of his decisions, will be assessed in the manner that, I'm sure in regards can be fair. But at the same time, too, I'm sure he's been handcuffed in a lot of ways, too, of maybe what he's trying to answer to the higher ups. So, because I think Triple H did show a track record of telling good stories in 2024 and making things fun and making things tough. So maybe there's just been this new protocol of, let's get AI more involved. Let's get this more involved. I think there's a good probably potential of an agenda of what Endeavor has planned and what TKO, are they even called Endeavor anymore? Or is it just TKO? I got no idea. But it's just like, I think that is where the crux of the problem is coming from. It's all the ownership coming in and doing it. Now, you had a different type of owner when it came to Vince McMahon that was screwing everything up because he was like a 77-year-old megalomaniac that was just losing his fastball and lost his fastball. So it's just like now you just have a different animal to deal with that knows jack crap about pro wrestling. And, I think you're at the behest of a lot of that. So I think that is where the problem is coming from, if I had to make the connections properly. Because Triple H has shown a track record of being creative and doing things that are intriguing enough. I will say this. I did catch a trailer or a clip. Fightful shared a clip of WWE Unreal on their X account where Braun Breaker was planned to win the Royal Rumble potentially, but they didn't want to shove Braun Breaker down our throats. And then who ended up winning the Royal Rumble but Roman Reigns? Now, if I'm not mistaken, though, Braun was injured at the time. I do believe that, certain things, can, and I think Triple H said it too, like Braun has to prove himself and certain things, to where it goes. And I think there's some validity to that in a ways of making him the guy in ways. Also think that, if he was healthy, he should have won the Royal Rumble. I do think that too. So, let's see. Trying to read your comments here. Sleep Sammy. Let's see. Lots of good discourse going on in here. Cammy says, first question for hiring writers. Are you a fan? So I'm not against hiring writers. I think there is a lot of creative minds out there. I think, if you look back to Brian Gerwertz, I think he did some good work, when it comes to having it. I think you need to have the balance, to be honest. I think you need to have the minds of like an Arn Anderson in the back and, a Michael P.S. Hayes or, a Bruce Pritchard. But you also need to, I don't think there's anything wrong with having some people outside of the wrestling bubble, like a Robert Karpolis, who likes sports and who can bring knowledge and pop culture outside of that wrestling bubble into your pro wrestling product. I think that's valuable to have. So yeah, I'm not against hiring writers at all. I think that just makes sense in a lot of ways too, especially if you do have a big company like WWE. But I mean, I would lean more towards the wrestling minds, the veterans that know what they're doing. But at the same time too, not everybody is great at that either. From a even legends like not be great creative minds, but they can do it in the ring. It's like a Michael Jordan kind of aspect. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time in the NBA. But like you tell him to coach a team, like it's not his bag. You tell him to coach somebody, he's not necessarily great at that because he's so good in the ring. Now, that's not to say somebody like a Shawn Michaels isn't good, because he's good at both, right? He's one of the greatest of all time, but he can also coach people at NXT and stuff. So I think there's the balance for sure, but I'm not against. I think having writers involved is a good thing. You just have to have the balance. Like I think AEW could use some writers for sure, right? So, let's see. Respectfully, WWE needs to get more organized and not wait for AEW to come banging down their door before they start to care and become coordinated. Their creative, for starters, needs to download a storyline angle pack from history, not AI, and implement it with a fresh take, because everything can't be built around promo battles and pull apart brawls. I mean, just go back and watch tape of what was done in Mid-South and what was done in World Class Championship Wrestling, and then put a new spin on it for today's viewing audience. What is so hard about that? Like, I remember going back when WWE Network first started, one of the first things I binge watched on WWE Network was World Class Championship Wrestling. And like the whole Freebirds versus the Von Erichs angle. But you also had random villains showing up too, like King Kong Bundy. I remember there was like a promo of King Kong Bundy on the dock, and he's eating a chicken leg, cutting a promo. That's awesome stuff. Like, implement some of that creative aspect. It's just everything feels very homogenized, lazy. It's everything across the board. It's really bad right now. Not 2019 bad, but it's really bad. Wrestling Oldhead says, when Otis and Tozawa win the tag titles at SummerSlam, that should be the end of Braun Breaker in the Vision. Breaker better walk away, and maybe Bronson Reed attacks Braun the next night on Raw. I would not mind that. Let me say this, because I almost forgot to talk about this, and it's kind of almost in a way what I led off with talking about Linda Cohn, was Tom Brady, his involvement. I think right now, I'm not seeing necessarily the benefit of Tom Brady getting involved in this Logan Paul storyline, because I don't think he's positioned in the right manner. Now, obviously, Tom Brady, the GOAT of NFL players, and you can argue, I mean, you can try to make an argument for that, and I think you could come up with some arguments, but ultimately, and I'm a Jets fan, this is a Jets fan talking, like Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. Like, you look at his accolades, cheating stuff, I think that's all kind of BS, because guess what, everybody? NFL, everybody cheats, all right? It's just a matter of you getting caught, okay? Like, I don't like to say that, the Patriots were cheaters. It's lazy, all right? Like, they were good. They were a good football team. What matters is what happens between the hash marks, okay, on the field and stuff like that. If you're able to do that kind of stuff, and hey, I mean, the Spygate stuff, all that malarkey that happened too at that stuff. Yeah, I mean, is it cheating? Yeah, but guess what? They got away with it for a little bit. So NFL teams will do anything to get an edge on another thing, because guess what? It's a business and you're making money. So off on another tangent there, but like Tom Brady's, he's great. He's the greatest. All right. I like Tom Brady, how he's positioned in this and how he's positioned himself after. I think Tom Brady's just a natural nerd. Okay. He's a dork. All right. Like he's a quarterback dork. Okay. He's cheesy. He's kind of like, in a way, just, I don't want to say socially out of touch, because I think he's a great teammate, and he's got a good connection with people. But from how he conveys himself, maybe publicly, it's nerdy. Okay, he's a nerd, but you do have that aspect of him being Tom Brady, the New England Patriots, the cheaters, all that stuff. You have that. So putting him as a babyface against Logan Paul feels very superficial and very, I think, in a way, kind of out of touch from WWE's standpoint and out of touch from Tom Brady's standpoint. People want to boo Tom Brady. This is what I do, and this is what I told Linda Cohn on the show, is I don't know why Tom's doing this. I don't know his motive or anything like that. It's not like he needs the money, but maybe his kids are a fan, we were speculating. Maybe he likes wrestling and just wants to do something. Whatever it is, it's fine. And I think that's good if he wants to do it. People will make the argument that it tarnishes his legacy. And Linda had that opinion too. I think it would look bad, maybe if it's positioned in the right manner. You turn him bad guy, okay? That's going to take a little bit of the sting of tarnishing his legacy. Now, some people may feel that way because he gets involved with pro wrestling. But you can make the argument too, Muhammad Ali got involved with pro wrestling. Did it tarnish his legacy? No, not at all. All right. Now it hurt him. Like his match with Inoki hurt him. And, but like, I don't think it tarnished his legacy. Like nobody's like, if anything, there would be no Muhammad Ali without pro wrestling. I should have said this to Linda, actually. If I had more time. There would be no, like Muhammad Ali was inspired by Gorgeous George and Dusty Rhodes. Well, no, Dusty Rhodes was then inspired by Muhammad Ali. So, like, that is something you have to think about. Anywho, you position Tom Brady as, if you make it like him be a swerve and align with Logan Paul, and he's the new leader of the vision, okay? Tom Brady doesn't have to be there every week, every month. You can have Tom Brady show up at the big events, and he's kind of like the big executive that is running the vision. And I think that would be amazing. And then at the same time, too, you put Tom Brady as the heel of the vision. You take Braun Breaker out as the baby face. And there you go. Kind of what Wrestling Old Ed was saying. I think that would be a really great angle. I think Tom Brady would get a lot of heat. Maybe that's what they're working towards. Maybe they work towards Tom Brady and Logan Paul having a showdown at SummerSlam, and they come out, Tom Brady maybe gets booed or whatever. I think he will get booed by fans. Like, he is right now, he's in that position where wrestling fans aren't accepting him and sports fans aren't accepting him doing the wrestling. So he is in this like lose-lose kind of situation. If you turn him heel, you can't get that attraction to the wrestling fans. I think maybe long-term too, some sports fans might see what he's doing and enjoy what him being this bad guy, embracing this, like, I am the bad guy. I am Tom Brady. Yes, I fooled you all. And I think that would be a great way to showcase Tom Brady in WWE. And not only does WWE make money off it, I think that kind of helps not tarnish Tom Brady's legacy outside of the football field. And I do think he's oversaturated though right now too. And Linda made that great point that he is oversaturated overall. From he's on commentary for Fox Sports. Then he's a minority owner of the Raiders, and he did the Tom Brady roast. So he's really putting himself out there in a lot of ways. So you could maybe see that kind of correlation with him and the Undertaker. And funny enough, he did the Undertaker thing at Fanatic Fest, or whatever stuff is called. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Willie Thornberry does say Rusev is the new Ryback. I don't know. Maybe. I guess that's a good way to put it, maybe. Willie Thornberry, is Sammy really leaving or is it kayfabe? Who knows? Who knows? Willie Thornberry also says the wrestling business loves celebrities like Hulk Hogan and put over Jay Leno, right? And that wasn't that great. I mean, like, it was intriguing because, like, I watched Jay Leno at the time before he got involved with wrestling. So as a teenager, I was like, "Ooh, this is kind of neat." But ultimately, no. Like, you're putting Hogan in an armbar and you're Jay Leno. Come on. So, all right. I think that'll do it. Stayed here an extra 10 minutes. Did have a lot of things I wanted to talk about in regards to all that's kind of went down. But WWE sucks right now, okay? It's not good. They got to switch some things up. They have to have a massive overhaul in how they're structuring their shows, positioning their shows. Just don't know how much input or like influence like Triple H can really execute on there. How tied are his hands when it comes to all this stuff? Like, he's got to answer to bigger people, you know. Like, it's not a privately owned company. It's been publicly owned for, 20 something years. So 26, 25 years. But either way, it's just, yeah, his hands might be tied in certain things that he can do. But what you could do is change some things up. Put Michael Cole in Mean Gene position. Have him do backstage interviews. Have him interview people in the ring. Get a new lead commentator. Somebody that's fun. Somebody that you can really live vicariously through. Has a good voice of reason. And just, I think, feel more relatable. Okay. What Michael Cole says is just like, it's kind of like Tom Brady. He's kind of a dork. Okay. Like, it's just, no, and that's the thing too. They had him as a heel for a while, many moons ago. It's like, that can't be the guy that's the voice of your company. Okay. They just have to switch him up. They just need to change some stuff. They got to change things overall. This episode was a perfect showcase of all that. So we'll be back to talk more about it tomorrow. I'll probably fly solo again. So be sure to bring your questions and your input in tomorrow, and we'll have a fun show again. So, but this was fun, as it is every Monday through Friday on a plethora of YouTube channels and X accounts, including the WWE Creative _ish X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @Studio One Sports X account, the @SE Scoops X account, @StudioOneSports.com, and wherever you get your podcasts. So you can tune in on Spotify, you can tune in on Apple, you can just have a lot of fun with us. All right, this was fun. Thank you all for tuning in. Prayers for Maddie's mom. I know he probably isn't watching right now, but all the best to him. Check out the Linda Cohn Show. Go to lindacohnshow.com. And if you like sports, be sure to tune in there. I'll be helping produce every Monday through Thursday, every Monday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time there. Rob Van Dam and I should be doing a show, I think, tomorrow, Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. That's typically the plan. So be sure to join us there, rvdtv.com. So thank you all for tuning in, and appreciate everybody. I really do. You guys make it fun, and even when wrestling really, really sucks. So thanks for giving me a platform and engaging with me. I'll see you next time here on Rumor and Innuendo. Best of luck in your future endeavors, and break on through to the other side. Light my fire too, by the way.